Why the AmEx Platinum?
I mean, yeah, it was always a dream of mine.
But like, why? What particular? Like, is it a goal? Is it something you've seen your dad have in his wallet, me or somebody else that inspired you to it? Do you see like a guy driving a Ferrari also paying with it? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, I turned 18. I look to the sides of me and I just see guys taking out their cool AmEx Platinum card, being like that cool macho man. And I was always saying to myself, soon I'll have that card. And I just kept on pushing for it. I mainly wanted it because I know they give really high credit limits, and Amex, they are the best customer support. They'll help you with all your needs. Really easy 24/7 calling with them. I'm sure you know. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think they've kind of the trendsetter in that concierge customer support.
Definitely.
Take care of its members game. Now, the Platinum Card doesn't come easy. The annual fee is about $700.
Yeah, I think $695 a year.
So how did you manage that?
Yeah, I just have a lot of money saved up from working over the past few years. So every year I just set aside $700. So I know each time it comes around, I just pay it off.
And you also get benefits that I'm sure you kind of use with travel that pays off that $700 fee.
Yeah, I mean, not even talking about the Centurion Lounge in the airports.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get even Uber Eats, you get discounts. You get discounts at all hotels that you stay at that are Marriott. And you get points that you can use points on airlines and stuff like that.
Very good. And at the age of 18, this young man got a Platinum Card. I mean, I know people 30 years old still haven't even got one. That's very impressive, guys. Now, I don't know if he travels by himself all the time to Centurion. I'm sure you have your cool backpack with all your gear or whatever, but that's pretty awesome that you also got to experience it. Which Centurion lounges have you been to? Have you been to the one in San Francisco?
So yeah, I've been to the one in San Francisco, the one in Cabo San Lucas.
Oh,
that one's really nice.
I'd say
that was the best one.
That is a really nice one.
Yeah, those are the only two I've been to so far.
But you loved them.
Yeah, I loved it.
So do you get all the food and get loaded up?
Oh yeah, they have hot, fresh meals ready for you, espressos. You get to sit in the chairs.
Are you the type of guy that gets a little bit of everything at the Centurion Lounge and makes himself 3 different coffees just to experience? I mean, you're young, so you're experiencing. Don't be shy and tell us the truth.
I'm the type of guy that will come 2 hours early just to chill out in the Centurion Lounge, get a little full course meal going, dessert, try another meal going.
That's awesome. And I believe, and guys correct me on the comments if I'm wrong, but you could come up to 3 hours before to get into the airport. And actually, I believe 3 hours before for a Centurion Lounge as well. It might be 2, I don't know. But if you could do 3 hours, then that might be a good thing. And one advantage to Centurion that the viewers may or may not know is you could also go to a Centurion Lounge on your way on arrival. Not on departure, but on arrival. With Platinum Cards, you can't. So if you want to get a meal when you land to a destination and do the whole drinks thing again, you could arrive and get loaded up or eat or do whatever and then go meet whoever you got to meet or go to your hotel room or whatever.
Well, Centurion's the next one.
Okay, so that leads me to that next question. Aside from, say, Uber Eats, you mentioned, some of the TSA programs that they offer, travel credits, and maybe gym memberships, although you're in a college that's going to have a full-blown
They
gym.
offer an Equinox, I
yeah.
believe, yeah.
Like a little credit, yep. Platinum offers a little less. I think a full membership for the Centurion and for Platinum, it's $150 or $120 or so towards your credit. I don't remember at this point, but I don't use the Platinum credit because I have the Centurion credit. But aside from those perks, what does it feel like using a Platinum Card when you're purchasing something or taking out a date or really just having one in your wallet?
Yeah, I love having it right in the front of my other cards just so I can pull it out. And it just feels nice. It feels like I was the 18-year-old kid when I was looking at the 30-year-old guy paying with his card at the restaurant. I felt like that guy. Every time I would go to buy a bobo, even for a friend, something small like that.
And by bobo, you mean those milk teas my daughters make me buy them all the time?
Yeah. The non-diabetic little chocolate balls.
Yeah. Those are interesting. By the way, that's a killer business. From what I heard from the landlord that owns those boba places, they rake in like $6,000 a day.
For sure. I think there hasn't been a single high school student that has not gotten a boba drink this past month.
And for the older audience that may not know, I didn't know what it was till like a couple of years ago. These are like milk teas with balls in them, tapioca balls or whatever. I don't know. I don't
think
like
it's
the
a
balls.
brown sugar melted into a little tapioca ball with different flavors of drinks.
It's craziness. The craziness in your mouth. If I was to get it, I wouldn't get it with the balls, but a lot of kids love that stuff and they make a lot of money. All right, let's continue. Good credit on paper is something that doesn't show every day. But how confident do you feel having good credit, knowing you have good credit? Like, does it give you more confidence in your financial upbringing or where you will be in the future? Like, does it, I guess the flip side of it, if you have bad credit, do you feel it would limit you to thinking bigger picture? I could own this one day, I could own that.
Yeah, I'd say at my age, almost 20, having good credit doesn't do too much yet. You need to have car leases under your name and other stuff before you can actually start using your credit for, let's say, an apartment. So a main thing that it does for me is it gives me motivation to keep going. If I didn't have good credit right now, or if I didn't even have credit right now, I'd feel lazy, lost, very unmotivated. But having a good credit, having all the cards, it makes you feel like you're really active, you're achieving something. It makes you just keep on exponentially growing.
Let's talk about that. So I would actually feel worried too. I think you could add that in because here you are trying to be an adult. And if you don't have good credit, that's kind of scary in today's world where everything is on lending and lease and so forth. But you mentioned something earlier that caught my attention, and we've kind of been going off this question script, but this is why I love these podcasts. You mentioned that you have, what's your credit score right now?
My credit score right now, I didn't check since last week, but it was 470. I mean, sorry.
Whoa.
770.
I was at 470. Why did I bring this guy on?
770.
770. That's an excellent score.
Yeah.
I think 740 gets you right at a little bit ahead.
So 750 and up is excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're at 770, so you technically be qualified for a house if you had the income, et cetera.
Yeah.
With that credit score, you are basically in a category of individuals that can afford to buy a car, buy a house, et cetera. But you mentioned something earlier that without having a car on your credit history and just having credit cards, you're kind of limited. And I assume it's because recently you were in the market for apartments. You really probably had to have a cosigner or whatever it may be. So touch a little base on that. It seems like credit cards are not going to get you past the finish line, and there's something to shoot for even if you get the platinum or any of the other credit cards. So give us the importance of actually having credit history that from other accounts such as car leases or houses or rent.
Yeah, so actually just to bring it back a little notch, so I'm going to UCSD. I was looking for off-campus apartments, and I was saying to myself, oh, I have good credit, all this stuff. I went in, and actually credit was the second thing they asked for. The first thing they asked for was my bank statements, because income is a lot larger of a priority for some rental agencies than others. So at that point, I had a guarantor, my parents.
I see.
To co-sign.
So they want to make sure you have enough in the bank to carry it over 6 months or something.
Yeah, so sometimes credit isn't the most important. A lot of the thing is having income, but then again, credit is the second step. And if you don't have credit, nothing's happening.
So those two kind of go hand in hand.
They do.
Very, very interestingly enough, when you're renting a car or leasing a car, I should say, guys, they don't ask you for bank statements. Rarely I've seen that happen, or I've actually maybe never seen it happen with me. But if you're renting an apartment or something more private, they may ask you for bank statements, and they may ask you for more proof of income than just the credit score. They're going to say, hey, we don't care that you've paid your bills on time, but you've never maybe paid $3,000-4,000 at a time. Yeah,
because me paying off $3,000-4,000 for my credit card limits is not the same as affording nowadays $3,000 apartment. So they want to make sure that you have the money for it and that you have enough saved up that they even ask for having at least 3 times the amount of the annual lease in your account just to start with, so that there's no problems at all.
And an annual lease or a monthly?
So it's a monthly lease, but they take the annual amount of, so $3,000 a month.
36 grand a year.
So they want to make sure I had 3 times that amount in my account.
105,000 or so, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. That's why
I've rented to people that have decent jobs that don't have anywhere near that. Whoever rented you this place, that's some strict stuff.
I mean, it was the best one I could find.
That's good. Well, they did their research. I should hire them for management.
Oh, yeah. No one's missing a payment at that place.
All right. So let's get back to it. What are some common mistakes young people make with credit that you know about from your friends or experiences?
Yeah. Some common mistakes is people, they see they have a high credit limit, let's say $4,000. So a lot of credit cards that I've had, actually all of them have had that, they have a bonus. It says if you spend $2,000 in 2 months, you get $200. Mm-hmm. So they just go ahead. My friend actually did this. He spent the $2,000 and then he said, oh, wait, I can't pay that off in time. So being able to know that you can afford what you're spending on your credit card is the most important thing, because if you don't pay it off, your credit score will drop by 50 points at least with a missed payment.
Yeah, I agree. I think they entice you to spend.
Yeah.
Part of the corporate structures of America is always to entice you to spend or do something, and it makes sense. And giving, you spend X amount, you're going to get French fries, or whatever they throw in there. That's great. But it kind of goes back to you're giving this big responsibility. You're literally borrowing someone's money. That's really what it is.
Exactly.
They're no different